from Lagos, the nation's commercial capital. This is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reported tonight, Ijoma Oyato.
Hello and welcome tonight. Fear grips Borno residents following shocking abduction of 200 schoolgirls in a government college by Boko Haram. Survivors of Nyanya bomb blast recount ordeal as Health Minister puts death toll at 75. The President leads PDP rally in Kano. Party leaders target recapturing the state in 2015. And Ukraine acting president announces start of an anti-terrorist operation against pro-Russian separatists.
And on Business News tonight, National Bureau of Statistics puts consumer price inflation at 7.8%, up from 7.7%, owing to an increase in food prices.
On sports news tonight, the countdown to the 2014 FIFA World Cup intensifies, with the trophy making a stop in the United States of America.
I'm Linda Kibian from Abuja. Federal government assures Nigerians of maximum security ahead of the World Economic Forum holding in Abuja.
200 schoolgirls are the latest victims of the Boko Haram attacks in the northeast region. This time, the final year students of Girls Government College, Chibok, were the targets. They were abducted by gunmen who stormed the school in the dead of the night, ordering all the girls out of their hostels into 4 lorries and speeding away. The raid lasted from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. this morning. The police commissioner in Borno State, Lawan Tanko, confirmed the incident. Now, in the meantime, one of the girls who managed to escape from the abductors narrated her ordeal to the BBC. She said, quote, "We were writing our final exams when they attacked. We heard gunshots and we woke up and 3 men came into our room. They told us not to panic. We later found out that they were among the attackers and they took us to Damboa. Then one of the cars broke down and they had to slow down and transfer us to another vehicle. Some of the attackers were on motorbikes. We passed about 3 towns, and in the middle of the forest, another car broke down. Ours moved on while the others decided to go for the car that broke down. It was then that some of the girls decided to jump down. I also decided to jump down. We ran into the bush and waited until daybreak before we went back home." End of quote. Now, reacting to the abduction, the Police Affairs Minister Abdul Jalili Adesion warned those behind the Chibok incident to stop attacking innocent school children, demanding their immediate release. The minister, who spoke in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, at the palace of the Olubadan, said the terrorists are taking their activities too far by abducting school children.
If it is true, it's bad. And by the grace of God, we appeal to those who are killing in the name of God to desist. Because the Quran does not enjoy anybody to kill. If you kill by sword, you will die by sword. And Muhammad never fight such jihad when he was alive. But we are still appealing to them that they should know that killing in the name of God is not acceptable to God himself. So they should stop and desist from this dastardly act.
In the meantime, the effect of yesterday's blast is still taking its toll on residents of Nyanya and its environs, as most of them had to walk long distances to get vehicles to their destinations. Our correspondent, who visited the area earlier, says the commuters were seen boarding private buses to their places of work. The site of the blast has also been cordoned off. The Force Police Relations Officer, Mr. Frank Mba, has, however, promised that investigations into the blast are still in progress.
I've trekked for a very long distance now, and it's not really very easy for me. It's terrible, I must say. Very, very terrible. Hopefully, I pray I get maybe a private vehicle that will help me get to town, because I really have to get to say this morning.
As you can see, it's very, very difficult. I've been trying for over 45 minutes now to get a vehicle to town, which is not possible since this thing happened. And I don't know what to do now. If it was before now, I could have said, let me take Okada at least to anywhere, but now Okada cannot go inside town, so I don't know what to do. In fact, it's very, very unfortunate. I don't know what to do right now as I'm talking to you now. And you can see the hold-up that is happening here. So if there's anything the government can do, at least to ease this hold-up now, at least it will be okay.
Investigation into this incident have already commenced. Basically, because it's a bombing incident, the investigations have been coordinated by the post-blast investigations team. The police bomb disposal squad is being assisted by our counterparts from other agencies. And of course, the investigation is being centrally actually controlled by the Force Criminal Investigation Department. At this stage, it's perhaps too early for us to begin to appraise Nigerians with progress being made in the investigations. We will do that as we progress. However, at this juncture, we want to appeal to Nigerians. This is a time for us to actually come together as a people. This is not time for us to begin to make inflammatory statements. This is not time for us to pitch one part of the country against each other. This is a time for us to show maximum and absolute loyalty to our fatherland.
Force Public Relations Officer Mr. Frank Mba. And as the nation continues to mourn the victims of the Nyanya bomb blast in Abuja, the Minister of Health, Professor Onyebuchi Chukwu, has put the death toll at 75 from the initial figure of 72. He told newsmen in Abuja today, after visiting 4 hospitals, that 216 victims are being treated at the expense of the federal government.
When we released figures yesterday, we made it clear it was provisional. It took us quite a long time, as you are aware, for us even to release provisional figures. But finally, late last evening, when we released those provisional figures, still issued a caveat that they are provisional, because sometimes there may be double counting, sometimes there may be people who have not been counted. So now, currently, having really taken everybody into consideration, including the movements of people, including some new deaths since then. What we have now is that those that we have been able to evacuate to hospitals and were captured in hospitals, because if someone just had a minor injury and walked away, it's possible we didn't capture that. We have a total of 216 victims. 216. So that has been reviewed downwards, because as of yesterday we were talking of 236. So it's 216, because there must have been some double counting, but now we know better. But what has increased is the casualty figure. When we talked of 72 yesterday, at this moment we have 75 as those who are dead.
Also looking at the victims and survivors of Monday's explosion at the Nyanya bus park in the federal capital have been narrating how they escaped death by a whisker. Some of the survivors who are being treated in a private hospital in Nyanya include an 8-year-old girl, a ticketing officer in one of the damaged government buses, and a 70-year-old engineer who is on his way to a construction site.
Some victims of a Nyanya Motor Park explosion at the Pan Raf Hospital, a private hospital where 20 of the survivors are being treated. This 8-year-old girl, who had severe injury on her right leg during the explosion, is one of the lucky survivors.
The small girl, I had a big chop off of her leg. Put a group of experts to work on the leg yesterday.
Lovely Nuzwakundu, a ticketing officer with one of the government-owned buses, and Mercy Okonkwo, a passenger, narrated how they stepped on dead bodies when they were rescued.
When I just dey see small, about to clear from the park to outside. From there again, the thing just throw one man up. That man come hit me on my back. Now from there, now I tumble. So as I just tumble again, I struggle to get up again. When I get up, I see myself with blood and I didn't know where the blood is coming from.
When I came into the park, the bus I first entered was filled up. So they asked me to stand. I said I don't want to stand, that I can't stand. So they gave me another ticket. When I came down. About entering the second bus, after they have cut the ticket, about entry, that was when it exploded.
At the Maitama District Hospital, James Chukwu, a 70-year-old civil engineer who sustained head injury and severe burns, told Channels Television he was on his way to a construction site when the incident happened.
I came from inside this. I was going to, I bought my ticket to enter I was in the queue. The explosion happened.
Away from the hospitals, at the National Blood Transfusion Service, dozens of donors queued to donate blood to assist victims.
If we look at the last incident, the UN building bomb blast, in a day then we got about maybe just under 100, but now we've gotten over almost 200 units of blood from people who have voluntarily come here to patiently wait to be counseled and to donate.
Monday, the 14th of April, would no doubt be remembered as a day of sorrow, tears and blood for families of victims of a Nyanya bomb blast which claimed 75 lives.
Now in part 2, after the break, we'll have more on that blast. Plus, President Jonathan visits Olubadan as the monarch marks centenary anniversary. That's all coming up in a moment. Please join us again.